Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Paula. On Instagram, I am at A Beauty Guru Made Me Do It. A Beauty Guru Made Me Do It. So if you're coming over here from there, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you're finding me over here on YouTube for the first time, welcome. Let me know who you are down below and let me know if you're on Instagram. This video that I'm making today is about what I have learned after a year of panning. First of all, what is panning? Panning is using a makeup item until you've hit the pan at the bottom of the makeup, the metal pan that the makeup is sitting in, usually an eyeshadow or a blush or a highlighter, things like that. But we also use that term to refer to other makeup items that we finished, nail polish, foundation, things that don't have a metal pan. We're still calling it panning. And the point is to use the product up completely. People pan for different reasons. There's a lot of satisfaction in using the full amount of product up. Some people are looking to have less. They feel like they've bought too much and they want to downsize their collection. Some people feel overwhelmed by the amount of makeup they have or have bought or have received, and they want it to be less. A lot of other people are going cruelty-free or are going all natural. I do a lot of project pans, and I've done a lot this last year. It is probably the most fun thing I like to do when it comes to panning. A project pan is choosing items with a start date and an end date, and working on those items for that committed amount of time to make as much progress as you can on that product and hopefully use it up. So that's a lot of fun for me. I love doing project pans. There's some really creative names to them out there that are based around a theme or a season, and I just have a lot of fun doing those. So I do a lot of project pans and I post them over on Instagram. I post updates usually monthly, and we do the finale and the end date, and I show you how many products I've completely finished and the amount of progress I've made on the rest of them. I've learned a lot through this process, and I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things I've learned personally. I feel like this information might be helpful to the people out there like me, and those are people that hold on to makeup or other things. It doesn't have to be makeup, but for me it was really makeup. I have some hoarding tendencies, and I know that now after this year of panning. It's probably the number one thing that I've learned about myself. I felt a lot of guilt over the idea of not being able to use all of my makeup up completely, and the idea of throwing away a product even though it was good. And I had kind of an unusual attachment to makeup. And I have trouble explaining that, and it's probably more to be discussed for another video, but I do know that about myself. I've learned that makeup is not a great investment. It's not money well spent. If you're buying more makeup like I was, then you can actually use. You're kind of throwing money down the toilet, and I'm still kind of wrapping my head around that one. It's hard to accept, but it's true. Especially if you're buying high-end makeup with expensive packaging. You know, you're not paying for the product necessarily, you're paying for the packaging. A lot of people refer to large makeup amounts of makeup as a collection. It's not a collection, it's a stash, it's a hoard. It's not a collection. It's something that is going bad with every day that goes by, and it's not good to hold on to it. So calling it a collection is kind of a deceiving term. You'll probably never hear me call it that, and if I do, it's a mistake. It's a stash. It's a hoard. Even to this day, I have never personally felt overwhelmed by the amount of makeup I have, even though I have a lot of makeup. It just doesn't bother me the way it bothers some people. And so I've never decluttered any makeup prior to this year. Prior to 2017, I had never once thrown a makeup item away. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it, and I didn't think I had to do it. I really, really thought I could finish and use up everything that I had. And I'm starting to realize that there's just no way I can possibly use all the makeup I have up, and I have to make some difficult decisions about what to do about that this year. I've already started working on it. I'm also have a hard time making group decisions. I'm not the kind of person that can look at, you know, my makeup and throw 20 things in the garbage right then and there. I have to do little bits at a time, a couple pieces of makeup at a time, and deal with it like that, and then it's not so bad, because it's really hard to deal with all of my makeup at the same time. I'm sorry, this light is creeping up my neck. After a year of project panning, I am definitely more in touch with what I have, what my habits are, and what my weaknesses are, and how long it really takes to use it up completely. Eyeshadows are still my biggest weakness. Eyeshadow palettes, anything eyeshadow related, which is closely followed by highlighters, lip products, blush. Those are still my biggest weaknesses. I love them. I want to buy them all. I'm a sucker for a good deal. I can say no, 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 no. And if it goes on sale for half off, I'm going to buy it. I'm just drawn to it. Use up recommendations don't faze me. I hear people saying, oh, you know, you got to throw your mascara out after 3 weeks or 3 months, or, you know, the date on that bottle says toss after 12 months. I don't care about that. I'm going to use a product until there's some signal, some sign that it can't be used anymore. It smells, it's dried up, it's breaking me out. That's the reason I'm going to stop using a product. And until then, I'm probably going to keep using it until it's gone, or keep it in my collection. I tried panning before I knew that panning was a thing. I tried it on my own. I didn't know it was panning. I told myself, you know, you're going to pick these items out of your collection or your stash and use them until they're gone, and you're not going to use anything else until you do that. And it never worked for me. I haven't had any success with my own journey to panning until I found the panning community. So that's been a huge help for me. Even though I'm more aware of how long it takes to use products, I'm still completely unrealistic about time frames. I will put 12 items in a project and honestly think that I'm going to finish all 12 items in that time, but I usually can only finish about half of them. And if I put more than one of like a certain item, like more than one lipstick or more than one blush, it's never going to happen. I really have to focus on one item at a time if I really want to see that progress. I still love new makeup, even though I'm very aware of how much makeup I have and how long it's going to take me to use what I have. I still love makeup. I still want new stuff. Sorry about this light hitting my chin. I'm going to move over a little. Whoop, there we go. And I'm hoping to continue, you know, working with companies like Influenster and others to have the opportunity to try new makeup and review it. I just have to think really closely about how I'm going to be purchasing new makeup and how that's going to affect what I have. I have never overused a product just to make it go away or to use it up. Boy, hey Will, can you close that curtain a little for me? It's right on me. The one on the left, just bring it in a little bit. Perfect, thank you. Okay, curtain adjusted. So I have never used more of a product than I needed to just to finish it. People ask me that all the time, like, do you just put it on over and over to make it go away or to use it up? And the answer is no. It takes however long it takes. And if it takes longer than I thought, then that's how long it takes. I'm not going to overuse makeup just to make it, just to say I used it up. That doesn't make me feel satisfied in any way. So however long it takes is however long it takes to use it up. I'm always so impressed when there's other panners out there who say, this color doesn't look good on me, I'm gonna give it away. Or this shade is too cool for my skin and I need a warm toned, you know, product. I'm always amazed by that because I look at every piece of makeup, no matter what shade, what tone, what color, and I think I can make that work for me. And whether that's true or not, I don't know if it's true or not, but I always think that. And so I have a hard time deciding what I should keep in my collection, my stash, what I shouldn't, because I always think, oh, I can make this work. I can use it up. I really need to get better at looking at what I have before I buy another thing. I'm just bad at it. I see the packaging, or I see the new product, or I think this is a better formula than the formula I have, even if it's the same color, even if it's the same shadow or blush. I bet this newer formula is better than the one that I have, so I want that one. So I have to do better in 2018 about looking at what I have before making that purchase. Inventory posts, tracking my inventory, taking those pictures has been a huge help to me. I refer back to those photos all the time. They're just so helpful, even for choosing products for a project, or to go back and pat myself on the back for saying, look at how many of these you've finished and you haven't brought any new in. Keep up the good work. It's just very motivating for me. And if you haven't done an inventory post for yourself, I would definitely recommend it. Once I have a product in a project, I keep it out. I keep it out in my bathroom. It's on the counter. If company's coming, I have a huge cleanup to do because it's all out. But that's how I keep it in my mind. If it's out, I use it. If I put it away, I'll forget about it and I won't use it regularly. So I keep everything that I'm working on finishing out and on my bathroom counter until company comes. I definitely think patience is huge in project planning. I tend to be a patient person in general, and I think it bodes well for project planning because it requires a lot of patience to stick to one product, especially when you love makeup as much as me and you like the variety that makeup can give you, and you have a lot of variety in the next room that you can choose from. It takes a lot of patience to stick with those products, but you will see the results when you do that, and it makes it worthwhile. Another thing I've learned this year, no buys do not work for me. The second I tell myself I'm restricting myself like that, a serious restriction, I go on a shopping spree. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I do that, but no buys do not work for me. And if you've tried a no buy and it didn't work for you, you're not alone. Some categories are just easier. Like I said, eyeshadows are a big weakness for me. Blush, highlighters have been hit hard this year. Other categories, skincare, body care, mascaras, I've been doing great. I don't think I've bought any, and if I did, it was part of a kit or like a gift with purchase. So I just need to work on those categories that are more challenging for me because I always want more, no matter how many I have. Another thing that I learned this year is that it's okay to not complete an item in a project. When I first started project planning, I felt like if I didn't finish every item in the project that I'd failed the project, I'd failed the goal. But the truth is, giving a set amount of time to a product is a success, and it's wonderful. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that the time I spent was well spent working on a product, and that if at the end of that time I choose to declutter it or put it away for a while or try something else, that's okay. And the last thing I learned is that the more you work at it, the better you get. When I first started panning, I was averaging about 10 empties a month, and that included samples, little packets, single-use products, and I was only averaging about 10 empties a month. And it took practice and getting into the habit of using these products regularly to start seeing some positive results. And now I'm averaging about 20 empties a month, including full-size skincare, hair care. So I've just about doubled my monthly empties. And when I do projects focused on samples, I can have 30 or 40 empties in a month. So if you're struggling to get started, just keep at it, and I think you will see the results eventually. It just takes a while to get in the habit of panning. In a couple of days, Pan That Palette 2017 is going to be over. It was not a home run for me. The palette I chose was this Too Faced Natural Face palette, and the reason I chose this for my Pan the palette because it was my first Pan That palette and I wasn't ready to commit to eyeshadows because they're my loves. I love changing it up and I just wasn't ready to commit to using the same eyeshadows. So this palette had two different concealers, a light concealer and like a skin tone concealer. It had a cream highlighter. These were all cream products. It had a cream blush and then a powder blush and a powder bronzer. And as you can see, it's not finished. I was hoping to have the cream bronzer or the cream blush completely finished, and I was hoping to hit pan on this blush. I've used this blush consistently since February 14th, and I did not even hit pan. It really says a lot about the time it takes to use up some of these products. But the year is over and my commitment to this palette is over. I am going to continue using the cream blush until it's gone, and I am hoping it will only take a couple more months to finish. These two are going to get put to the side for now. I'm not going to declutter them. I am going to declutter the palette when the cream blush is gone and depot the two powders that are left and put them in a Z palette, so that I can move that packaging out of my collection. And here I'm finally ready to show my Pan That palette for 2018. Is a pure Go Nude palette. And this is what it looks like. I'm curious to know if any of you out there have this palette, had this palette, remember this palette. It's old. I don't know how old it is. The product is still good. As you can see, there is another blush and another bronzer in this palette, so that is why I'm gonna stop using those for now. The pans are pretty big, and then there's 6 eyeshadows. This cream is a matte, and I have been already using this product to set my primer. And then there's a matte kind of crease color, a mid-tone brown, pretty neutral, and then 2 shimmer colors that are mid-tone and matte and shimmer deep color. So this is my Pan That palette for 2018. I'm very excited about starting this next week. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. I will be posting updates on here on YouTube monthly, along with possibly some tutorials on how I'm using this palette to get through it this year. So I just wanted you guys to know that this is my journey so far. There's a lot more to it. I'm working on strengthening my decluttering skills, finding ways to restrict myself in a way that I can work with, to limit myself. I have some ideas about how to do that. I'm still working them out. I will post about it as soon as it's all written out in stone. And to just reach out to anybody who's watching this and feeling like they're the only ones. You are not the only one. If you are feeling like you need a change, please join me and start. It's not just me. There's a huge community out there of people who are doing this and want to help you. And their videos have helped me too. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.